Well, hey neighbors, welcome to the Shed Shop in this edition of How To and Warranties Honored. I have this STIHL 025 that neighbor Chesley just bought the other day, and we tuned it in and everything, and he brought it home, and the first time he went to cut with it, he was concerned that it was sounding like it was running too lean, and so he did the right thing, and instead of trying to keep running it, he immediately decided he wanted to have it checked out, because that's how I work. I'd rather better safe than sorry. So he was here just a minute ago. We were doing the vacuum pressure test. Couldn't get anything, and so I decided to go under and crimp off my impulse hose, and I was able to hold air then. So I have a feeling my impulse hose is not working. So I'm going to show you how to replace that. Now I've already got some of the project done already because we were testing it. However, I'm just going to show you. Basically, it's pretty easy. The stuff that we took off. So the first step is just take your air filter cover off, and then you will pop your air filter itself off. Keep it clean, and then you will remove 2 8mm nuts and remove your air filter cover or your air filter base, and then you're gonna take a screwdriver, pull your trigger in a little bit, and you will pop your throttle linkage out of your trigger and just twist it off of the carburetor. And then you'll come over here, and you have your switch right here and your throttle linkage here, or your choke lever here. You should be able to now pull your carburetor back just a little bit, and this will slide right out. And then you want to crimp off your fuel line or empty your gas tank, and then you will pull your carburetor, and it will come off with the grommet. Okay, so the carburetor will come off with the grommet. Okay, and then behind the carburetor, you're going to have this, where'd our gasket go? Okay, there's a gasket on this as well, usually. I could have sworn this had it. Oh, this one's stuck to the carburetor. Okay, so carburetor, and that's going to come out of your intake boot, and that's going to leave us with where we are now. The only other thing I didn't tell you is to pop this switch off, you very carefully go underneath of it right here, and just gently pop it out. You don't want to break it this and this, or break this or this, and then you just shimmy it out of the from right to left. Okay, so now that we're there, the next thing we're going to do is we've got to go ahead and take these AV annullers out. And really the easiest way to do this is I like to get a skinny pair of needle nose. These work too. Okay, and then you just take you a flathead screwdriver or a scrunch, and oh, that's right, this one was a rubber one, I forgot. It's kind of fascinating. Usually these are plastic, this one is rubber, and so I just left it in there, even though I've never seen one of the rubber ones before. That's called an AV buff. So that popped out pretty easy. Sometimes you can get them with just a screwdriver, but I don't even like to waste my time. I just like to take my skinny pliers, pry that up, and then I start working my pliers behind it. Damn it. Welcome to my life, neighbors. Welcome. Welcome to the Shed Shop, neighbors. Welcome to hell. Sorry, I'm saying neighbors too much again. Okay, so get those behind it. Okay, pop it out. We've got one more up front over here. Okay. Voila, there's that. And then we need to go ahead and disconnect our wires here. Okay, so we will pull this out of here. Set our switch aside. And then disconnect our other ground wire here. And then we're going to go ahead and push this grommet through very carefully. Okay. And then we need to go ahead and do our intake boot as well. Okay, so very carefully go ahead and get it something to pry it up for yourself, and then use your fingers if you can. I've got tons of these, so I may be throwing caution to the wind sometimes. And actually I should be loosening all this stuff before I do that. Sorry, I'm teaching you wrong, neighbors. Did you dirty. Try and do better next time. And then Oh, hello. How you guys doing? Shit, that's the other thing. My good mount is currently preoccupied at the ultrasonic parts washer because I did not anticipate doing this today. Get you guys fixed here. Sorry about that. And it makes for not as good a view as well. I'm aware of that, but unfortunately, it's what I've got to work with right now. So anyways, I grabbed the wrong drill. And then you got 5 T27s holding this handle on, I think. 1, 2. Damn. Didn't want that to go that fast. 3. 4. And then you've got 2 on the bottom side here. Good old Loctite. Excellent. I'm going to use a magnet stick to get these out just so I don't lose them. When you flip the saw, oftentimes they'll come out. So there's that. Okay, now we've got our, see our boot came back through, and that's because I did that step too early. Now, I've got to take my adapter out here as well. Okay, so this handle will come right off, like so. We'll set that aside, if we can find some space for it. Okay, now we can really get that intake boot pushed through, feed our wires through. Okay, now we can access our impulse hose, which I am looking, and I am not seeing any damage to this sumbitch. So was it not hooked up? Because that came up awful easy. Or was it loose? Well, now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and remove the impulse hose, and we're going to test it. Okay. So we will get a pair of hemostats. We'll close off one end as close to the end as possible. And we'll use a proper adapter, the Mighty Vac. Got this little adapter here that I use. And here's our Mighty Vac. Now we're just going to go ahead and pump some pressure into this and pull a vacuum. Yeah, it's not leaking. It's not ballooning up. So, I feel like it wasn't hooked up properly. I'm just trying to feed this impulse hose back through. There we go. Make sure it goes on the barb. Normally I would use some seal-all on that. Well, it looks like I'm going to have to take my, I think I'm going to have to take my damn recoil off so I can see if that's connected. Can't quite tell. Yeah, I'll just pull this recoil. This sucks. Doing a whole fucking saw I've already done. I do hate when this happens. I mean, the challenge is on some of these things you can't easily see to locate the problem. You know, you just kind of have to go all the way in and start trying to figure it out by process of elimination. So it could have just been it was leaking at the flange because when I, but if that wasn't the issue, the flange leaking, if the flange leaking was not the issue, okay, our impulse hose is on our brass nipple back there. Oh, don't do that to me. As you can see right there, hopefully, right there. Okay. Hooked onto that brass nipple, and it's on there good. I don't have any seal-all right now. My seal-all, like, gelled up on me. So, once more, the only thing I can do is put this back together and try and test it again. And hope I have a different way I can do this. We'll use a rubber stopper and we'll block off the impulse hose by putting a rubber stopper in here as well, like we've got in our fuel line right there. So, I'm not replacing it because I see nothing wrong with it. I think it just might have come off of this nipple somehow. I'm not quite sure. Again, rarely ever happens, but I have seen it happen a time or two. I've seen it happen more than once, but I don't see it very often. So we'll just start working everything back in. Feed our, gotta get your wires fed through. Okay, there's that. Now we'll go ahead and got to put our fuel line through here. Make sure we get everything through the holes. We don't want to mess anything up. We're going to have to go backwards. Now that we got those wires through, we've got to get this grommet on, and it is a nightmare to do usually. You can push it through and do it from the other side, but I'm going to try and get it this way first. use a tool from up top to help you push it in. Just don't jab your fingers. Now, don't jab your fingers like that. See, I don't like doing it this way. But if I have to let go of it, damn, it's going to pop back out all the way around. I don't want to lose my progress. And I did. Damn it. There we go. Okay. Go ahead and where is my rope? My thin rope. Where's my 3mm rope? I don't see my 3mm rope, but we'll try this and see if it'll work. We're going to take this and tie it around our intake boot real tight to help pull it through so that we don't have to use a tool. So and give myself rope burn. Don't need a piece this long, but it's just I just had it cut right there, so it's the thinnest rope I have. See how difficult this can be. Because the boot blocks the nipple one way and everything else blocks the nipple the other way. You can only push it down so far. You just gradually work that boot through. Here we go. Let's see, our muffler's still blocked off. So I'm wondering if our handle itself, our nipple is cracked into our handle. That is a possibility. I didn't even think to examine that. But now I've got a lot more play while it's loose like this. So now we're going to go back. We're going to start with our actual flange first. Our specialty flange from STIHL. If I can find it. Okay, so I still can't build air, so I'm going to go to crimping off this impulse again. I really feel like the handle might be fucked. Nope. Now I'm leaking somewhere else. Okay. That's odd. How could I be? Unless it's this. Yeah, it's got to be that. That'd be the most logical reason anyways. Yeah, it's leaking over here. Okay. Alright. So, I'm going to do something different again. Okay, so I put a rubber seal behind here, and we've got 8 pounds of pressure. Yep, I got exactly 8 there. Oh, some bitch pushed my handle. Gotta leave it on the bench. Anyways, oh shit. Okay, got exactly 8 pounds there. I'm gonna leave that, and I'm gonna see how well it holds air. I'm gonna go do something for a few minutes and then come back, check it. We're still holding. It's been like 20 minutes. Sorry about the ultrasonic in the background. So this definitely doesn't have an air leak. I don't have the impulse blocked off. It could have been sucking air somewhere back here, but we couldn't get initially, so I believe the issue was the impulse hose slid off the nipple on the bottom of the handle where it attaches, because until I blocked that off the first time with the hemostats, we couldn't get air to hold there. Okay, so this will be part 1, and part 2 I'll show you the reassembly. It really is just a reversal, but I'll try to do another video to show you that, okay? And then we'll add another part as well for once we get this back together. Obviously, we got to start it. We got to go cut with it. We got to figure out if it's just a tuning issue, because it was way out of tune. It hung for several months while I was having neck surgery and everything, and so we'll get neighbor Chesley sorted out. Everybody give him a shout out in the comments for being a first responder. He is EMS, and that can be a very difficult job, very traumatic job to do. So lots of respect for those guys. Till next time, neighbors, be kind to one another. Everyone's facing a battle. I love all 8 billion of you, even though I really fucking suck at it. Like, subscribe, share, comment, comment, comment.